What's going on, guys? My name is Stutter, and welcome back to another Minecraft episode. So, last time we got the auto crafting for our slime farm finished, and we finished up the slime farm and everything. As you can see, the slime balls are still rolling in, and I'm super pumped about how it all turned out. But today, I finally need to go and actually tackle doing the rest of my resource gathering, and we have a quite large farm we need to build. Been doing a lot of testing and creative and everything, making sure it's all going to work properly, and I think I finally have everything how I want it, so I should have a fairly efficient farm by the end of this episode, but first thing we need to go do is go gather us some terracotta, so let's go find ourselves a mesa biome. Oh, mesa biome? It's a badlands now. Let's go find a badlands. Okay, so we made it. Actually had a pretty large badlands, very close to where we are, so that's super convenient and everything. I think I found a spot that doesn't have too much water around it and everything. I always hate running into the water, but it shouldn't be a huge deal. Other than that, I think I'm going to go ahead and start getting my beacon set up, because there's definitely no way I'm mining all this without a beacon. Out of random curiosity, do you guys set up your beacons starting with the large base size? Do you guys know the exact size of what the base needs to be, or do you do what I do and just slowly build a pyramid up around the edges? I I always forget how large a beacon's actually supposed to be, so this is just I usually just do this until it feels like I've used about 2.5 stacks, and then yeah, I go from there. Look at that misplacement. So yeah, I think this is the last layer, just because it'll go through so much of my iron. Just a random guess, though. I seem to, never actually know. Okay, so I just got a pretty good amount of terracotta gathered up and everything. A few shulker boxes. I'm gonna go ahead and go smelt all this up, but I think I'm going to do the build as a time-lapse. I know, I've been doing a lot of time lapses lately, I'm sorry. I've just been doing a lot of very large scale work, and I don't know, I just think it's the best way to show it off. So hopefully in the next episode or two, I'll start getting away from those. The next builds are not near as big, and hopefully we can get a little back more into technical kind of stuff. We're getting really close, guys. We're getting really close, so I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you after. Okay guys, it's been a lot of work, but I'm super happy to actually have this farm done, and well, not completely done. I'm done with what needs to be done in the overworld for the moment, because I was starting to put the roof on and then it dawned on me. Mobs are gonna start spawning when I put the roof on. And I haven't finished the bottom or the side in the nether, so What I need to go do right now is go finish the side in the nether, but yeah, let me quick show you what this farm does. So this was a custom design. I came up with it just on a random conversation with a friend. We were talking about just pushing mobs or something. I don't even remember how it came up, but I worked on a design for a while and I ended up coming up with things like this. And pretty much how it works is a mob will end up spawning, and all it does is triggers the wire, the tripwire across, activating a piston with a row of slime blocks. And once that slime block activates, yep, that's the reason I stopped working on this farm. Pretty much it will push you and it will always line you up almost directly with that block. And then the second you're lined up with that block, you actually just barely have to move and you will be teleported instantly to the nether. So I am going to fill all these up with water, and then with that water, yeah, once the portal is lit and the water is added, then everything should just instantly get pushed in here. And I can't wait to show you guys, even for just like a small, this is a perimeter based farm, and usually it's a lot bigger, but you know, this is like a pretty small version and stuff, and I'm already pretty excited to show you guys the kind of rates I'm going to be getting out of this. I don't know what I just broke. Nothing. Okay. Well, let's head over to the nether because we need to make the portal on the other side and a storage system, and then we can actually go ahead and get you guys all dealt with. I'm so ready to have a mob farm. I don't want to look at that side though right now. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay, so I kind of just quickly wanted to show you guys exactly what I'm working with for my storage system I'm going to be building inside the nether. So what I've come up with is pretty much, let me turn it on, a way to actually push all the items around. So all the mobs will be falling from way up high. They'll fall down, they'll take their fall damage, and they'll die here. Then the drops will get pushed into 1 or 2 blocks right here, at which point this piston here will push them onto the second block. They will all be in a single block. That one single block will then push everything right to the edge of this block and push it down. At what point that slime block down there will then shoot it, it will hit a piece of ice, and it will run into a honey block. Now that honey block will put it in a state where it will be close enough to be picked up by a hopper once it goes along another ice path that is laid out right here. And then another slime block will then just hit those items along, and they can then be picked up by hoppers. So show you what it looks like really quick. So if I go in here and I actually throw down like a couple pieces of glass or something, you can see they get pushed once, they get pushed twice, that stone gets retracted, it gets dropped, it gets pushed over to the honey, and then it gets launched off into the distance. So I can do it a couple more times. Let's see if we can get a different result. So there we go, a little different positions and everything, but you can see for the most part that it will always pretty much line up in a way that all the items actually get hit onto this ice bridge, and there they are. They are perfectly aligned on that corner. And if I were to, my hoppers are upstairs. Let me go grab a hopper and we'll see if it picks up those items. So yeah, if I was to put a hopper or something right here, you can see that the items were in a spot that they were aligned with the hopper, that they were actually able to be picked up. So this is a no water way to actually align items in the nether and stuff. Pretty simple little technique and everything, but yeah. Just a little design of my own again. It's kind of sloppy as you can tell, but it works. It gets the job done. I can't complain. So what I do want to do next is actually go and get some mobs rolling into this thing, and then we can start looking at what the rates actually look like. Pretty much all we should need to do right now is go ahead and light this portal up. And now if I actually pour water on it, as you can tell, it does not break the portal or anything. I can go ahead and fill this all up here. Not there. So there you can see, now we pretty much just have water on both sides leading directly into the portal. So hopefully if a mob falls in, when a mob falls in, they'll just pretty much instantly be pushed into the portal and get teleported to the other side. Now let's go ahead and try to clean up these guys without blowing anything up and hope for the best. That's pretty much the most terrifying one so far. It's just full of skeletons and creepers. And that's it. Why are there so many skeletons and creepers? Oh my gosh. I just want this part done. Oh, I made such a mistake. Okay, so I just finished putting the whole roof on and everything, and yeah, I kind of wanted to show you guys what it's looking like from the inside. So now pretty much the roof's on and all the caves are lit up, you can get a better example of what it actually looks like when the mobs spawn. So pretty much as they spawn, they're instantly just pushed into the glass in the center. From there, they just fall into the water, and then they are just instantly teleported to the nether, freeing up the mob cap and allowing this whole thing to just keep rotating. So if I just go from cell to cell, you can see it's the same exact story. Mobs are just instantly getting pushed and just teleported straight to the nether. So next, let's go ahead and actually head over to the nether really quickly and see what's happening to these poor guys on the other side. So just got here, and there's already just a massive amount of drops sitting here. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. That's a lot of drops. Yeah, this guy's actually pointing into a block, so I think if I put a piece of wool here and turn on hopper counters, it should hopefully get rid of most of it. Let's go carpet, hopper counters equals true. So if you didn't know, there's an option that you can do like set default in front of here when you do something on carpet. And this will make it so anytime you reboot your server, it'll automatically keep all the settings. But if you don't do that, then it'll kind of ask you if you want to change permanently, stuff like that. And that will pretty much, just make it temporary. So once the server or your client restarts, it should actually reset everything as well. But what you guys actually want to see is all these mobs out here dying. So we do have a little problem, of course, with guys with boots getting stuck inside here, which I will deal with in just a little bit. I think actually if I change some of these blocks out, they should suffocate, but I need to do that still. But yeah, as you can see, this is just a straight actual flood of mobs, and all of their drops should be getting pretty well aligned and drop down. All we really need to deal with is just kind of, I'll probably end up making these blocks right here movable, and that should suffocate the mobs every time they get pushed as well, but I will deal with that in a minute. But for now, I do want to do a counter reset, and we will see just how many items this thing is producing. So why don't you give me a few minutes, I'll run a tick warp, and I'll catch back up with you guys. So this is only a quick, it should only be about 3 or 4 minutes at this point, but you can see that this mob farm at the moment is producing almost 50,000 items an hour. Just pretty darn impressive. Looking like, what are these numbers? 15,000 bones, 15,000 gunpowder, 15,000 arrows. And for whatever reason, only 3,000 rotten flesh, but I could really care less about rotten flesh overall, so that's not a bad thing. It even produces a little bit of redstone, sticks, glass bottles, and spider eyes, so yeah, that's all kind of cool to have included. Those are pretty much all just drops from the witches. I'm sure sugar will be in there too at some point, but just not quite yet at the moment. Okay, so I did what I was saying. I added in a couple of those blocks. I need to replace those two at the top. But now it's actually suffocating any mob that happens to drop in. If you didn't know, typically it takes about 23 blocks to kill a mob. I want to say it's in the 30s. It might be 33 or 35 to kill a witch from fall damage. And then you get the feather falling boots in there, and I don't even know. It's quite a long drop. I was hoping if I made it way up there and then dropped them down here, like this is a 40 or 50 block drop at this point. And, yeah, some of the guys are still surviving with Feather Falling 4, so can't win them all, but you can eventually suffocate them in blocks, I suppose. That was probably my last little update, but we're running about 22 minutes on the tick warp now, and we're still pulling 47,000 items, which I'm definitely super happy about, so yeah, I'm probably going to go work on the collection system down here next, and then, yeah, pretty much everything for this will be complete, and we'll be ready to move on to our next project. Okay, guys, I think this is where I'm actually going to go ahead and call it for the episode. I want to work on the storage system, but I still want to make a shulker box farm, actually, before I go ahead and start working on a large storage system, just because I want everything to be very compact, and with how reasonable shulker boxes are to get nowadays, I would rather build a shulker box storage system than build a simple item sorter and then rebuild the entire thing. So I think next time I'm going to either work on the sugarcane farm or the shulker box farm and get both of those started up. Other than that, videos this week might be a little bit slower. I am a little bit out of it, so I want my mood to be right and everything when I am recording. I want to give you guys good content and stuff like that, so I hope you guys can understand. But that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or your night, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.